In this video, I'm going to talk about the number one mistake I was making in my communication as an introvert. This huge mistake I was making was not embracing my natural silence, not realizing that silence in communication, the embracing of pauses, listening, thinking about what you're going to say is actually a superpower in the way that you're able to communicate to the public or in a one-on-one manner. And in this video, we're going to talk about a few ways that I like to use silence, the pause, just the natural way that us as introverts like to approach communication, thought, and speech, and how we can use that and make it into a superpower. There's a beautiful Japanese concept called ma. Ma is the celebration of empty space. So it could be pauses in communication, pauses in conversation. It could be the celebration of just doing nothing in a moment, the celebration of empty space in a painting. Often Japanese paintings use a lot of empty space, and this actually shapes the form of what is drawn on the paintings. In music as well, if there was just constant sound, we wouldn't be able to differentiate the notes. But the pauses in between the notes are what punctuate what we actually hear. The pauses are the beautiful part, the thing that allows us to really feel and breathe in a moment. Once I learned to utilize these natural pauses that feel so natural to me in conversation, my communication just completely leveled up, embracing the fact that I could stop in the middle of a sentence, think for a bit, and then continue on with my thought and speak slowly. This allowed me to really become a better communicator as an introvert. I was making this mistake that I always felt like spaces had to be completely filled with me talking, or if there's a group of people talking and I'm not as verbal as them in the moment, that maybe I'm creating an awkward situation or I'm falling to the background and seeming like someone that maybe shouldn't be there or isn't just a quality person that's worth being within the group. So there was always that need internally for me of needing to fill silences. And then once you realize, though, that you don't always need to be heard, in fact, often the most powerful person in the room, or even the person that's perceived as the most powerful, is the one that speaks the least. If you can not just talk to talk and saying anything that's nonsense, but wait till you have something impactful to say, something, it could even just be a funny joke in the moment, or a very insightful point that you really were thinking about while you were listening to everyone talking. And if you make sure when you speak, it's something that has depth and impact, and waiting for those moments, you come across as not just equal to the people in the room, but you end up being the most powerful speaker and presence within the room when you just wait. And until you have something that's actually worth speaking, you just speak for the purpose of filling in silences and being heard within a room. It just creates that much more impact, and it gives you that much more presence when you wait till you have something impactful to be said. The next way that my fear of silence as an introvert really was my biggest mistake and was really hurting me in my communication with other people was because I felt like I was being too quiet and I wasn't sharing as much as the rest of the group, I would be in my own head thinking of the next thing to say. When in reality, when you just embrace what you naturally are as an introvert, a good listener, someone that waits to talk, you end up being a lot more of a powerful communicator where you can listen to what's being said. And oftentimes people don't realize that if you're asking the right questions, they assume that you're talking 50-50 like they are in the conversation, but the person across from you is enjoying it so much more because they're getting to express themselves. If you can wait and listen to what's being said and really listen, not think about the next thing, stay in the moment, stay present. Don't think about your next thought, just absorbing the information that you're getting, absorbing the vibe that the person is giving you. And if you can just listen in the moment, you can actually learn from the people, for one. And secondly, people can feel when you're actually listening to what's being said instead of in your head thinking about something else or what's next you're going to say. When you're really with them and you ask a question that's following up on something really specific about what they said, again, this natural silence, accepting the fact that you're better and more powerful in a state where you're not talking and just really present with the person and listening. This can also make you a powerful communicator. And once you drop the idea that you need to constantly be talking and figuring out what's the next thing and scared of a potential silence that could come about by you just waiting and listening and trusting yourself to have the right question and not being scared of maybe 3 seconds of silence. And then you could say, okay, follow up on your opinions or a question that you had on what the person was saying. Genuine curiosity will always win in life and in any form of communication, whether it's to a group, whether it's learning, or whether it's a one-on-one communication. Genuine curiosity is always the most powerful emotion. Another mistake I was making as an introvert, as far as not embracing my natural love for silence, is feeling the need to answer someone immediately when they would ask me a question. I would feel like, okay, I'd be scared of that pause in between and just say whatever was in my head just to not face that pause. But one thing I learned that was really, really powerful is when someone asks you a question, that silence at the beginning actually makes the person feel like you're really giving the question thought. Take a deep breath. Pause for 3 seconds. Even if you have an answer in your head, you can gather yourself, feel present, feel your breath, pause for 3 seconds, and then give your answer. It gives you time to think like you would naturally like to, how you naturally communicate best, and just that pause at the beginning shows you're someone that's not really quickly trying to prove yourself. Instead, you're pausing for a moment, you're actually thinking, and you're not scared of that silence again. Embracing that natural pause in between is a really powerful way to come across, communicate to the best of your ability as an introvert, and also just come across as someone that has that aura, that gravitas, where they're able to embrace the silence, pause for a little bit, and then give the answer. There is no rush, just complete comfort with whatever comes up. If you enjoyed this video, I have another video that talks about how you can think more clearly and how you can communicate more clearly by embracing and introducing the habit of journaling into your life. If you're interested in that video, you can click right over here.